Page 411, this is Stravinsky again, Rite of Spring. Imagine you hear the sound in your head that goes like something like. It goes on for about 2 minutes, and you want to give it to the flutes. They can't circular breathe, or they can't do it, so they run out of air. So he gives one flute. And then the other flute, one. And then when they're playing together, it's actually two different instruments, but you hear like that. So you can see in the Rite of Spring, he's got two piccolos, or flute and piccolo up there at the top. So he wants this continuous triplet sound, but then there's no place to take a breath after a long note, so he divides it into two. Also, the basses and the cellos, they're kind of, the rhythm there is 1 te, 2 te, 3 te, 4 te, but he gives one part, rest te, 2 te, te, 2, 1 te, te, 2 te, and he gives the other part 1 te, 2 te, 1. And then when you put it together, you hear 1 te, 2 te. If you recall, that's called a hocket. We also get that from the Renaissance. It's dividing up a rhythm between instruments. So, don't worry about this. These are just, we're shotgunning a lot of different modern 20th century ideas. 412. Jazz patterns. Alec Wilder's Woodwind Quintet here. Also, take the first 3 notes of this, either the bassoon or the flute. Do you see that the first 3 notes are quartal? Goes up a fourth and up another fourth?
Yeah.
Okay, the next 3 notes is also quartal. Oh, I'm sorry, the next ones are, no, they're quartal. They're shifted to they're quartal. And he's using a jazz idiom here. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 1, or 1, 2, 3. Instead of going 1 lolly, 2 lolly, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, take. So the same thing that same thing that In the Mood does in jazz. So the saxophones are going, but they're not going 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly. They're going 1 take, 2 take, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So then you get. So the beat is actually there. But if you just listen to the melody, it sounds like a group of 3. So he has another instrument showing you where the beat is. And that's exactly what Wilder's doing here. He's got the instruments going bum, 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 the exact same, except it's quartal harmonies. It sounds pretty modern. Page 414. New types of harmony. Traditional chord types. This is Vaughan Williams again. So the British are always in the 20th century going to look more conservative than the German. So you look at Vaughan Williams and you say, oh, I can analyze that. That looks pretty, E flat major-ish, except there's a D flat. So well, maybe it could be quartal, but what he's actually doing, yeah, it is modal. No water mill. Actually, Vaughan Williams is crazy about modes. He writes some really good stuff. His variation on the theme of Greensleeves is really nice, and that's extremely modal. Adoring stuff. Shostakovich. Interesting composer. He was in a communist environment, so he had to turn all his symphonies over to a cultural committee for approval. So it causes the music to come out rather bland. Because you don't want to write the type of music that would get banned by the state. So you end up just imitating music that passed last year. Music gets more and more bland. So Shostakovich, if you listen to all the symphonies, he wrote quite a few of them, but every other one's great, and every other one's kind of not so great, and that's because he was pretty smart. He turned over one to the committee to get approved, and the next one he'd write and put it in the desk and not turn it in because he knew it wouldn't be approved because he was being modern and innovative. And so he tried for years to get permission to tour the world, and when they finally gave it to him, he put all those scores under his arm and came to the US and places, and big hit with those, but not the ones that the committee approved. Everybody thought those were kind of eh. But the ones he wrote for himself to show what he could do, he didn't have them played till he left Russia. That's an interesting story. He's written about this, going up in front of the committee and just like, you know, you get people who know nothing about music and they're saying, well, this music, it doesn't promote the state. He's like, how do you promote the state in music? Well, by making it sound like that other piece that last year's committee said promoted the state. Okay.
Did he get left?
Eventually, he left and didn't come back. Or he left for like, I don't know, 10 years or so. And it was an odd thing because the government, Russia, he became so famous outside of Russia, they actually gave him permission to come back and visit. And he had 2 passports for a long time. He never gave up his Russian passport. But that was kind of taking a chance going back, but they had told him he could come back and play some more. Because after his music became famous, then the committee said, well, you know, maybe it wasn't so bad, this new stuff, you know, and they approved some of it. So they could say, yeah, that's Russian music. Here's a real mind bender on page 416. This again is Stravinsky, Rite of Spring. He is really thinking outside the box. So if you try to analyze this vertically, you'll go nuts. An E natural up to a G to a B flat. Okay, I'll admit it. That's not really what he was thinking. What's going on is, if you look at just the cello pizzicato, what's coming out? The first 4 notes of the cello at the bottom. What's it spelled? E, G sharp, E, E. It's a major triad. Mm-hmm. Now, forget the key for a second. It's just a major triad. The next 4 notes in the cello are
C, G.
C, E, G. That's a major triad. And then he goes back to the E.
Not in the key of B, E flat.
Now look at the bassoon, the lower part in the middle there. So its first 4 notes are going. C major.
C major.
And then D minor. So Stravinsky's not trying to line up a harmony from bottom to top. He's actually got horizontal harmonies going on that are just overlapping. So imagine, I don't know if I can do this. And then the other part going, well, this is going on. You have some other part going. So, no, you can make a little circle around the first measure of the cello. And you almost have to analyze it with these circles drawn everywhere. Oh, we're running out of time, and a lot of times I held you late. We'll look a little more, we'll record the projects Wednesday, look a little more.
Oh, we need singers.
Have to have somebody to sing. Have a great day. Thank you for the rendition of Bourrée. Bourrée